And now to Doha. Qatar has faced intense criticism since the day it was set to host the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Now recently, the Australian football team released a video demanding more from Qatar. The country has faced heat over its labor policies and its human rights record. Now, Qatar's Emir spoke out against the campaign of criticism. We tell you more.
The 2022 Football World Cup begins in Qatar next week. Ever since the country won its bid to host the marquee event, it has faced criticism. Criticism about the way it treats workers. Criticism about its human rights record. Criticism about its rules on alcohol consumption. And criticism about its attitude towards the LGBTQ community. The West Asian Kingdom has had enough. Its ruler Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani has hit out.
We initially dealt with the matter in good faith and even considered some of the criticism as positive and useful in helping us develop aspects of ours that need to be developed. But it soon became clear to us that the campaign tends to continue and expand to include fabrications and double standards that was so ferocious that it has unfortunately prompted many people to question the real reasons and motives behind this campaign.
The Emir's accusation of relentless criticism isn't unfounded. Let's take a look at some of the most recent criticism. We'll start with a video released by members of the Australian football team.
Over the last 2 years, we have been on a journey to understand and learn more about the situation in Qatar.
We are not experts, but we have listened to groups such as Amnesty, FIFA, the Supreme Committee, the International Labour Organisation, FIFPro, and most importantly, the migrant workers of Qatar.
We have learned that progress has been made both on paper and in practice. The kafala system has largely been dismantled, working conditions have improved, and a minimum wage has been established.
Whilst the reforms established in Qatar are an important and welcome step, their implementation remains inconsistent and requires improvement.
We have learned that the decision to host the World Cup in Qatar has resulted in the suffering and in the harm of countless of our fellow workers.
These migrant workers who have suffered are not just numbers. Like the migrants that have shaped our country and our football, they possess the same courage and determination to build a better life.
As players, we fully support the rights of the LGBTI+ people. But in Qatar, people are not free to love the person that they choose.
Addressing these issues is not easy, and we do not have all the answers.
We stand with FIFPro, the Building and Woodworkers International, and the International Trade Union Confederation, seeking to embed reforms and establish a lasting legacy in Qatar.
Danish footballers are not travelling with their families. The Danish Football Association said they want to contribute as little as possible to Qatar's profits. This is to protest Qatar's human rights record. The French Football Federation has said it would send a delegation to Qatar. This would be to check on the working conditions of migrant workers. The United States has publicly urged Qatar to be patient with football fans.
We want to make sure, and I think we've said this publicly, we want to make sure that law enforcement for the Qataris is in the right place. We want to make sure that in the ministries there is a level of patience and tolerance for what the world brings when you invite the world to your country.
Qatar says it has been trying to change things in light of the criticism. The country, which usually does not allow alcohol, will have areas for drunk fans to sober up. The country has made progress in its labour rights, though it admits there are still some lapses. It has said that LGBTQ fans coming to the country will not face persecution of any sort. But its promises have not been enough to end the criticism. It seems tensions have devolved into a clash of cultures. An orthodox Muslim-majority nation hosting the World Cup is dealing with the expectations of liberal Western nations. the critical nations weren't always as liberal as they are now. Qatar too has progressed and continues to move forward. But it seems the progress is not fast enough for the Western nations. West Asia Bureau, WION World is One.